Hi, I'm Tyson with Adventure Rig. Callie, Hank, and I are just outside of Moab, Utah today on the Colorado River. Now in this adventure, we have brought with us the Yeti Hopper Flip 12. Now we also have a Hopper 30 that we've reviewed, so if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check it out. Now everything that the Hopper 30 has built into it is also incorporated in the Flip 12. Now Callie and I really like this cooler for a lot of different reasons, but mainly because of its size. If we're just going out for a day trip or maybe even 2 days, this one really fits the bill for us when it's just the two of us. The Hopper 30 or even the Hopper 20 is a great cooler if maybe you have a lot of people or you're going out for a multi-day trip. But we really like to just throw some sandwiches in this, throw some ice in it, and go skiing for the day. We can leave everything in the car. If the sun is beating into the car and heating it up like a greenhouse, everything easily stays cold inside of this cooler. Or like today, if you're out on an adventure on the river or on a motorcycle, this guy is gonna have you covered. Now, like I said, all the qualities that are in your Hopper 20 or your 30 are also built into the Flip 12, starting with the dry lock zipper. This is a very high quality zipper that's waterproof. So not only is it not gonna allow water in, but if you have any ice that's melting inside the cooler and this thing gets tipped over, you're not gonna have any water coming back out, which is a great feature. On the inside is this closed cell foam technology. That's really what does the great job of keeping your ice and your contents cold inside of the cooler for multiple days on end. Now, we did do a pretty simple study where I threw a ton of ice in the Hopper 30 as well as a regular soft-sided cooler. And without a doubt, the Hopper 30 held ice for 4 or 5 days longer than the soft-sided cooler. There is a little bit of science that is required to keep everything cold in here. They tell you when you buy it, it's in the directions, all you have to do is read them, but it's pretty simple. First, you want to start with a cooler that's already cold. If you're keeping your cooler in the garage and it's 80 degrees in the garage and you go and grab it and you throw all your warm food in that hasn't been in the refrigerator yet, all the ice is going to melt because it's trying to cool the cooler down and it's trying to cool your warm food down. So a big key to keeping everything cold longer is to already start with your items cold by taking them out of the refrigerator after they've spent a day or two already in a refrigerator and starting with a cooler that is already cold. Don't store it in your shed out back on a 100-degree day because that's going to zap all of your ice really quick. Also, don't sit here like I am with the dang thing completely open because that's going to allow a lot of warm air into the cooler and that's going to melt your ice also really quickly. Now, on the inside of this one, you can see that we've got just some essential sandwich items as well as some carrots, a couple more sandwich items. Can't forget about the Reese's. Before we hit the wall, we've got to have some of those. That'll prevent us from getting hangry. And then on the very bottom, we have the Yeti Ice. Now this is a 4-pound block and it fits perfectly in the base of this cooler. Also, one thing I really like about this particular cooler more than the Hopper 30 is that this opening is ginormous. You can completely open the entire cooler up and get to anything extremely easily. On the Hopper 30, it's just a little bit narrower of an opening and trying to get into it can be a little bit tougher. Now, on the exterior of the cooler, also some great features built into that. You're gonna have the dry hide shell, which is the same fabric again that you're getting in the 20 and the 30. This is a UV resistant, waterproof, and highly puncture resistant fabric, meaning if you're throwing it on a motorcycle like we do a lot of the times, or maybe you're strapping it down to a raft, you don't know what it's gonna hit, if it's gonna be rubbing up against rocks or anything like that, this is gonna stay in really nice condition for years down the road. Also on the bottom, it's very durable, tough material, so no matter where you end up setting this cooler, it's not gonna get damaged. You can also see that on the exterior, front and back, I have multiple tie-down loops. So no matter what I'm tying this down to, I'm gonna have a lot of different options to make sure that this is gonna stay put. 2 easy carry handles, one on either side, and a nice handle on the very back. Also, this shoulder strap is quite burly. I'm a bit convinced that you could pull a car with this thing if need be. It has a ton of padding up top that has a little bit of rubber backing to it. So when you sling it around your shoulder, this thing is gonna stay put and it's not gonna fail on you. However, if you don't need it, it easily comes off by just using a clip on both sides. Something else I really like about this cooler is the shape of it. It's easily gonna stand no matter what the terrain, but also on the top, we use this a lot of times just for a small table. It's actually quite large. You can fit a few items on the top, easily make a sandwich on it. And also it has this lip, so if you have any accidental spills, they're not gonna be going down the entire cooler. You're just gonna be contained right to the lid. Again, this is the Hopper Flip 12 made by Yeti. It's gonna be a great cooler. All the technology that you have in their Hopper 20 and their Hopper 30 is going right into this cooler also. You're gonna be able to spend days on the river or on a motorcycle trip or whatever you're using the cooler for, and it's gonna keep everything nice and cold. Thanks again for watching. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below and we'll get back to you. Also, if you're wondering where Callie and I are at or what we're up to, please check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Adventure Rig. Again, I'm Tyson with Adventure Rig.